much for coming, and thank you at home for watching. Yes, it's the Christian View, where we take today's hot topics. We weigh them against the Word of God, because God does have a view on all things, and we're so blessed and fortunate to have the beautiful and successful actress, Miss Froid, with us today. And the first time I think we came in contact or saw Allie was at the Georgia Entertainment Gala, as she was going up in her beautiful white dress to accept the Rising Star Award. So thank you so much for being here, Allie.
Thank you.
Allie, we would love to hear about your journey into acting, like what age you got started, roles that you've had, your favorite roles that you've had, and kind of what your dreams are at this age. What's your dreams and your goals?
Sure. I started acting at a very young age, but it was something where I was acting as a dream. So like I never thought I would ever be able to get to the point where I could do it as a job. And so I went to school, got my master's degree in cosmetology. And I did that for many years, saved up enough money and said, all right, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna give myself a year because I have enough savings and try it out. So I went and did audition after audition after audition and finally booked roles, got an agent. And my favorite role I've ever done is Swamp Murders on Investigation Discovery.
I wanted to ask you about that because my husband is addicted to those shows. So I'm sure I've seen you, I just didn't know it because I noticed you did some on the ID channel or Discovery and then that one. So what was that like?
That specific episode was very near and dear to my heart because it's a true story about a woman who is only 23 years old who was raped, murdered, and killed. And her brother was her father figure. So after we taped the episode, it aired, he found out on IMDb who played her, which was me, and he reached out to me. And I literally talked to them every holiday.
Wow.
Like
You're their family
every
now.
other week. Yes.
That's awesome.
It is. It's amazing. And so, and he said, you know, before, like when I was watching the show, you looked and acted just like her, you know, so I just felt like we had so much in common.
What a compliment.
It is.
It was the best.
You know, what I think is so interesting is when you do meet actors, actresses, and you get to meet them, how their personality is so different from what you see on screen. Because I was just looking at you and thinking about one of the projects you did, and you were just like hollering and running, and you know.
They showed that at the gala. Yeah, like you were terrified.
You know, and she's just so reserved here, and you know.
I was looking on your website, and you have so many diverse characters. You have funny characters where you're like the nerd, and then you have an abused wife, and so many different things that you have played, and you change your look a lot. What's your favorite? What do you like the best?
I love comedy. I'm really goofy.
You go,
I am so
you go,
goofy,
girl.
so I love it. But I really do love true stories because it gives me so much backstory to go off of. It gives me bringing justice to somebody who has been in that situation to really be able to bring that story to life. So just bringing that character and giving it on screen.
I love one of the
amazing.
things you said when you did your acceptance speech, and you said, you know, and I know I had all my grandkids there that night, but you reached out and you told everybody in that audience to pursue their dreams. Do not give up. If that's what you want to do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it.
There isn't. Only yourself.
And you know that for a fact. If you want to do something bad enough, you can make a way to do it.
Absolutely.
Well, that's true. And talk about in modeling, because you started out in modeling what was it, in 2002, do I remember?
Yes,
yes,
quite
been
a while
few years,
ago.
which you don't even look like you've, you know, old enough to have been modeling for that long. You started as a baby, I guess. But anyway, so tell us a little bit about how that was, you know, getting started into modeling and what challenges maybe
Were your parents behind you in all this?
Yes and no, to certain extents. They did take me to see agencies to get on for modeling. But there are, you know, trials when you do that, and there's a lot of times when you have to look yourself in the mirror and you're told, you know, you could lose a little bit here or there, or you could change this look and it'll, you know, it'll sell more, you know. Now we have Photoshop, so you can make yourself look skinnier. But I don't agree with that. But I just think being healthy and being fit is definitely good enough. Why not, right? So it was. Back then it was even harder to get into that industry because you're just so critiqued everywhere, everything about your whole body.
Our whole society, you're right, and media is obsessed with bodies. I mean, they are, and I think it's just, how do you handle that, or what do you recommend for people who look at you and look up to you? Obviously, many people do. What would you say to that little girl who wants to be you?
honestly just being yourself, because you can't be anybody but yourself, you know? So you really just have to be the best you that you can possibly be. My most important thing that I tell everybody, if I ever sign pictures, it's always respect yourself and respect others.
That's right.
Because as long as you do that, then you're getting respect back, you know, and you're going to go much further. If you're kind, you're going to get more jobs. People are going to like you. They're going to want to work with you. If you're not fun to work with, then, you know, you're not going to be wanted back. And it gets around very easily. Like, if you're not good on set, people will find out and they won't want to work with you. So it's just being a kind, genuine person.
Well, Lisa, do your kids want to get into acting? I know you've got a very entertaining family.
They're into everything. Yeah, we have the Broadway family. You know, singing, dancing, acting.
Right. That's
awesome. You know, and I just love that you do a lot of things. And one of the things I really like is your accountability, and I think that's what's lacking in the industry today, because a lot of celebrities think that, you know, I'm not raising that child, or I'm not responsible. Let the parent do it. But you're taking accountability for yourself and how you present yourself, and you're telling young people to respect themselves. And I think that is that's huge. Yeah, that is huge. Yeah.
Allie, is there any kind of role you wouldn't take? You want to share that with us? What your boundaries are, what your limits are in the acting field that you will or will not do?
Yes, there's definitely a lot of things that I've actually turned down in my past, and it pays great, and it would be great to have, you know, that role on my resume and possibly have a breakthrough from it, but it just doesn't sit with my stomach and my morals and my standards.
You got to live with yourself. What does it pay to gain the whole world and lose your own self? We'll be right back with the beautiful actress Allie Froid. Stay with us.
Welcome back to The Christian View. Today we have with us actress Allie Froid.
Allie, let me ask you something. What happens, Molly, I think of Molly Cyrus because I didn't grow up, but my little granddaughters grew up, and I grew up watching them with her. What happens to these young kids? Had everything in the world going for her. Smart, funny, pretty, had it all. It's like, when is enough that they got to go off into another direction?
Right. I'm so lucky that I'm not, you know, in that situation, and that I haven't put myself into that situation. But it's easy to fall into it.
I'm sure.
When you're on set and you're around a lot of people, you work really late hours, you're stressed out all the time, so you rely on things that are drug related, you know, or even things that are mental, like image and stuff like that. So I think that they just get that in their head. I loved Amanda Bynes a lot. Like, I followed her and watched all of her movies. And for her, I'm just rooting and praying that she gets back up on her shoes and gets it right again. But I think it's just something where, you know, you have all this money too. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can definitely get you in trouble.
That's true.
You can go crazy with money. So I think things like that.
A lot of pressure. I mean, there really is a lot of pressure with the industry, and I think we as Christians have to be non-judgmental. And like you said, you know, you're praying for her. I think that's one thing, is praying for somebody. I was following another model, and I think she was on one of the finalists of America's Top Models, Leah Dowry, I think it is, Darrow. And she was saying that she got into the industry and she moved farther along, and she was in a position where she called her dad one night after she was in the midst of taping something that was risque. And she walked off the set in tears, went and called her dad and said, "You've got to come and get me, or I'm about to lose my soul." And what a realization. But I think that that's what we have to pray for, because we can sit as Christians back and judge people so easily. But it's a hard industry, and I think you can bring light to that.
You said you had an agent. Does your agent pressure you, or do you think the pressure's from
Maybe
within?
That's the key, is having the right agent.
You know, where would you say the pressure is, from within or without?
My agent is amazing. She definitely does not ever want anyone to go against their morals or standards. So she is amazing in that department. But I think it is from within. It's from getting those roles and thinking for just a slight moment, you know, I can be in that huge movie and I can make the big bucks and I can have my breakthrough. but is it worth my morals?
You know, Allie, I think also because, you know, I grew up in the industry from a child, so I understand what you're saying. And I actually was in New York when I was working. And, you know, there is a lot of pressure, but I mean, especially now, you know, you're so young now in the industry and there's just a lot of temptations out there. But, you know, part of it, you know, when you modeling, acting is like a whole different world, you know, and when you're around other models and actors, they do certain things and it's a way of life, you know, and you just have to continue to stay grounded and stay focused because it's easy to get involved in the things that they're getting involved with when those are the people that you're associating yourself most of the time with. Do you kind of separate yourself, you know, after hours, after you're off the set, do you?
Actually, I do, but I do only because I have so much other work that I'm doing. I've actually put myself into like screenwriting and writing a book at the moment and working on a lot of things behind the camera as well as in front of the camera. So a lot of the things that take up my time is work, but if I had those free times, I would actually prefer to go out with them and suggest the place, hey, let's go grab coffee. You know, we wrapped.
That's good.
And talk about it and see if I can make a difference and a change in those
That's
people.
wonderful. We need more Christians in the industry.
Do you feel like you're in the minority,
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
sure.
with such a high standard? And how are you received among your peers or, you know, when you're on set?
I do. I get a lot of feedback, a lot of great feedback that, you know, I've changed other people's ways just from my posts or my stories, you know, and my journey and sharing it because I'm very open about it. I think being open about that and sharing what you're going to have to face in the future that people haven't faced yet and how you can overcome it easily has helped other people. And so that's my main thing as an actress and an actor is to be able to set an example.
That's right.
And say, you know,
That's
a lot
good.
of people don't think you can, but you can. You really can.
And you're the Georgia Rising Star. Is that what you were awarded? Is that right?
Yes, I am.
And how did you define that? You gave a definition for that night when you received
looked it up.
Yeah,
I did.
What does it mean?
So I just laid in bed. I'm that person that like wants definitions of everything. So my mom was like, well, if you got an award, Allie, you have to have a speech. I'm like, no, I don't want an award. My friends were like, just set something up. So I was just laying in bed the night before, and so I was like, okay, it's Rising Star Award. What does rising mean? And it means onward and upward, and star is a massive sphere of energy held together in gravity. And I was just like, the sky's the limit, you know, like right there, that's what it says. And so to me, the award is more so for making sure people are aware of that. You know, not that I'm a star, but everyone can be a star for that reason. You just have to believe in your heart, and you have to just go for your dreams.
That was what was so impressive to me about you that night, is rather than just making it all about you, you turned it and you encouraged the people in the audience that you can live your dream. You can go after your dream. That was awesome.
Thank
You know, Allie, you said you set limits, but do you mind sharing with us where are some of those limits that you set?
Sure. So there's a lot of uncomfortable scripts that you get. There's scenes of topless, nudity. You know, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to show your behind? Are you willing to show a bare back? So there's all sorts of things that an agent wants to know so that they can or cannot submit you for those jobs. And my personal standards are nothing seen from the front and definitely nothing seen on the bottom. So it's more so that's considered a private area for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know.
We're coming right back with Allie Froid. Stay with us.
Welcome back to The Christian View, and we're talking with Allie Froid about the entertainment industry and modeling and how you maintain modesty. But Allie, you pay it forward too. Tell us a little bit about how you give back in all that you've been given.
Sure. March 2013, my friend Marcus and I, we went out one day with 20 bologna sandwiches, and we just thought we were having a really bad week. So we went out to Atlanta and walked around lost as ever and gave out these sandwiches to the homeless. And the feedback that they were giving us was like, I'm so hungry, can I have another one, you know? Do you have any water? We did not know how much was needed there in Atlanta. So we committed to doing that once a month. And while we were walking to the car, we were trying to figure out a name. So it's actually called Wandering to Nourish Atlanta.
I love it.
Marcus actually left for a couple of months and started one in Costa Rica.
Wow,
so we do have one there as well. And we hope to have it all over the world. So we do have a homeless branch, and it's grown to about 400 volunteers a month.
Wow.
Come and go, come and go. A lot of people attend with that. We have a big team. And then the last January, this past few months, I launched a branch called WTNA Kids. And as an actor, I didn't want to just benefit myself. I wanted to benefit others from it. So I spent a year with a sweet girl named Dahlia Mitten who had neuroblastoma cancer and passed away in November from it. When she passed away, I knew the impact I made on her life. Her thinking I was Tinkerbell, never knowing my name was Allie. We went swimming, I wore wings. We went to sleep, I was in my costume. I never took those wings off. She called me Tink and just became a godmother to her. It was amazing. So now I go to hospitals and I visit kids as all different characters and just make a smile on their faces. It makes me happy. And like we said when we were in the bathroom,
yes,
girls in the bathroom, right? You receive more. You know, you really do. I mean, it just fills my heart.
That's right. It's not
So
in the
your
receiving.
motivation for going out initially to the homeless was you were having a bad week?
Just a bad week, yeah.
Really?
We were best. I mean, we are best friends, and we were both like, gosh, you know, this week is just not going well, like how we planned, and it's just, And then we were like, well, we know things could be worse, so let's just remind us, you know.
Wow.
In foster child
We all
care,
need
Good
reminding,
Samaritan,
don't we?
We really are.
Yeah.
You know, are you using your professional career as a platform to
Absolutely.
definitely, that's awesome.
Yes, to reach out and share all of it. Yes, absolutely. Not for me.
Right.
Not for me.
Wow.
How are people receptive to the gospel when you share in that industry? Because it seems to be an industry that's kind of so far removed from the way of God. How are they responsive?
You know, the industry really likes debates. And so a lot of people...
Did you see the movie God's Not Dead?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my goodness.
I wanted to. I will see. It's great.
Do it.
Okay, I will. And they'll see posts, they'll see people talking about it, and they love to chime in there and say no. They love to chime in there and say yes. And that's where you get to say respectfully, you know, your view. I think everyone has their own opinion, but I don't think that you have to push it on anybody. But I think if you set an example and you walk the walk and you talk the talk, then that's where they're going to see, you know, I want to be like that, or I want to have a life like that. And it's a fulfilling life, you know, and if anyone wants to have a fulfilling life, then, you know, then they listen and they see what other people say, and that's what I say is, you know, thank you, God, for sure.
Do you have an accountability partner?
A lot more God.
Do you have an accountability partner, someone that, you know, just comes alongside you and just encourages you and helps you toe the line?
Yeah, I have a great support team. Definitely my parents. My mom is my #1 phone call whenever I get anything. So she's like my rock. My grandmother was, she's not here, but definitely my mom. Like I'll call her and be like, hey, so this is the scenario, what's your feedback? She's taken over a lot of what my grandmother had for me.
That's awesome.
So
I wanted to ask about your ministry outreach to the homeless. Is there someone maybe that sticks out in your mind that really has been an inspiration to you, a homeless person who you've met? Or?
Yeah, we met someone that was called, his name's Abraham, and he was on a cardboard box, and he was just laying there, and it was hot, it was summer, and we woke him up and we said, hey, are you hungry? We have a, you know, a gift bag and it has toothbrush, toothpaste, sandwich, you know, lunch, snacks. When was the last time you brushed your teeth? He's like, I don't even remember. When was the last time you showered? You know, I don't know. Long story short, we got him into a home, living into a house, and helping him with his groceries and things like that, and he's doing terrific. And we've gotten people jobs at Publix and helped them with their interviews and prepped them with that and given them the clothes for their interviews. And they've gotten the jobs, we followed up, and they're doing great.
Have there ever been any times that you've been afraid? I mean, in the streets of Atlanta, I mean, that first day that you went out there and you said you didn't know where you were, I'm sure you were in
You were
probably
out
a
of your
rough part of
comfort zone,
town.
girlfriend.
But, you know, obviously God was with you, which he always is. But do you ever have fear in going into some of those areas? Because a lot of the people that are homeless have mental illnesses, as we know, and that can be dangerous at times.
I've been sure to be with, when Marcus and I went together, it was just the two of us. And to be honest with you, we love adventures, you know? So we went on it as like, okay, we're gonna make a day full of fun. And it was during the day. We would never be doing this at night.
Right.
Just due to two people being out there is not safe. So after that, I mean, the first post we made, the second month we went out, 35 people showed up, then 65,
great.
then 100.
So you stay together.
Huge groups, always together. We actually have security that go with us, so I feel very safe. I do.
Do y'all do some running? Did I read something where y'all do some, you know, running? You meet like the last Sunday of every month. So tell us a little bit about that, or how our audience or our people at home could join you with your ministry.
So in Atlanta, we have a Wander. It's the second Sunday of every month, and we walk Atlanta about 3 miles, and we give food, clothes, hygiene products to the homeless. We have another branch called the Run, and you run Atlanta, so it's more fitness. I'm not a very good runner, so you may or may not see me. And they run through Atlanta about 4 miles, and they help the homeless at the end of the month. And then we have WTNA Kids, the branch that I just launched, and that's just visiting sick children in the hospital. And then we're launching also a pets branch to be an outreach to adopt pets and save their lives from shelters. So we're just on this whole roll, and WTNAtlanta.com is our website, so we always keep it up to date with our events.
Wow, you know, Allie, how prepared are you for the future? As a growing actress, with all the things that you're doing right now, did you ever think about when things could change, when you become more in demand and the fame is there? How committed do you think you could be to what you're doing right now?
You have to make a decision to continue all that or let it all go for something big, big.
I trust God.
There you go.
And I know not to worry about the future. You know, take every day one step at a time and take every day.
You know who holds that future, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.